Hi, hi, hello. Welcome back, y'all. It has been almost a month since maybe a month since I've been on. So for those who don't know me, my name is Chantel Evans. I am the founder and the president of Unique Blessings nonprofit organization. Our mission is to provide support, services, awareness, and advocacy for victims and survivors that have been affected by human trafficking, domestic violence, and sexual assault. And then we have a particular focus on at-risk youth. I'm also the owner manager of Unique Blessings here in Nail Spa. We are out here located in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's a little bit about me. So tonight, I am excited. I have a co-host coming on. We will possibly have some more surprises going on tonight. So I wanted to come on. I try to do a podcast at least once a month just to bring enlightenment and awareness to issues, uncomfortable issues, things that we kind of don't like talking about, but we should talk about. So for the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I want to come on and make sure that I do my part. We do our part, that we bring awareness to these issues and let people know, hey, there is help here. We do understand. I do understand. And so for that, we here tonight. We're going to talk about mental health awareness. We're going to talk about wellness, illness, how are we managing the mind? What's going on in the mind? Are we getting and doing what we need to do to stay healthy and to live better lives? So I have this saying that I always tell people that your health is your wealth. We like to talk about, I want to be rich, I want to be rich, I want to be rich. But if we are not mentally prepared to receive any of these blessings, it'll be hard to understand we have them when we receive them, and also hard to keep them and be healthy while we're doing it. So that's why we're here tonight, again, to discuss mental health awareness, to bring some enlightenment to some topics. And we'll be talking about managing the mind. We'll be talking about invisible illness and things like that. And real quick, just to jump off of that, and speaking of mental health awareness, I seen in the news this week, I think we had the correctional officer. I'm not sure of her name, but may she rest in power. But she was a correctional officer, for y'all that don't know, and she was like a day from retiring, or she had retired, but she escaped with an inmate. Later, eventually, they were caught. She shoots or hurt herself. She dies. They apprehend him, and he goes back to prison. So my thing is, it was clear that something was going on. How do we miss these signs? How do we miss the signs? What do we need to do to find out the signs? Last week I had put on Facebook, I just went on and I kept putting in different things about mental health, just trying to spark that light to the community and be a pillar for the community, and us to start a conversation about invisible illnesses. So I also put up no secret about myself that I have never publicly talked about. But a few years ago, I was diagnosed with CPTSD, complex post traumatic stress syndrome. So yes, I was diagnosed with that. I lived with that. I lived with anxiety for a while. I lived with depression for a while. And I tried a little bit of everything, to be quite honest. So we're gonna talk about that in the show. When our guests come on, I'm going to be transparent. I think that the best thing and the first way that we get help is to recognize and say, hey, I'm not okay. I'm not okay and I need help. For so long, I would not say that I'm not okay. I was known to be the strong one. And I know all my strong people out there can totally relate. We are strong. We're used to going and doing and making stuff happen and seeing if everybody's okay. But then when we go home at night, secretly, we are suffering ourselves. Secretly, we haven't found the remedy for what works for us. Secretly, we don't want to burden anyone else with our problems. So we go on living with this. And in my case, I went on for many years, just really just getting through the day, staying busy, running away from myself so I wouldn't have to deal with these so real issues that sometimes can often end in fatalities. So that's a little bit about me. We do have someone that's going to join me. I believe she's in the back end. So we're going to probably just go in and bring her on so we can get this party started, y'all. If you want to chime in, chime in. Do me a favor, bring somebody along, share, tag, tell somebody, tell them about it. Again, you will not be getting any legal advice here. You will not be getting any medical advice here. That is a disclaimer. We are not doctors. We are not diagnosing. We are just sharing real testimonies from real people and letting you know what worked for us. That does not mean it's going to work for you. I do believe that healing is tailor made. So if you are not sure of something or you want to share something, definitely chime in. The more, the better. Like again, share this, take, bring some friends in, and let's have a good show tonight. Okay. So I'm going to try to bring. Thought I was going to try bringing out guests. I thought I was, but I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I can bring her in with us.
Hello, my darling.
Hi, Miss Sugah B. Werkin. Welcome
Hi.
back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to my Journey podcast. And I'm super excited to have you on here co-hosting with me tonight. I'll be glad when we can see you in the camera. But
I
for
am loading
now,
up now. I can barely hear you to be honest, but I'm switching devices. All this technology around me, something has to work, child.
okay. Well, I can hear you just fine. I want to make sure that the audience can hear me just fine because I've been running my mouth, and I hope that everyone could hear what I was saying. So let's do a real mic check, 1, 2 kind of thing, and make sure that I can hear you. Make sure that we can hear one another, and most of all, that the audience can definitely hear what we're going to be talking about. I don't want to have this amazing discussion or podcast tonight, and then nobody hear us.
Absolutely.
All right. So while I have you on there, I did already introduce myself. I already kind of spilled the tea just a little bit and told them what we'll be talking about tonight while I was waiting for you to join, about the importance of mental health and things of that nature. And I shared a little bit about my personal connection to mental health, just about me. But as we all know, in our community, especially the brown community, we do not have these conversations because they're uncomfortable. We say a lot of mean things. I know I've heard a lot of mean things. I probably said a few mean things in the past myself when I was not more educated on this topic and how serious it was.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think I'm going to wait till I see your face. Do you want me to wait till I see your face or do you want me to carry on?
Yes, because I want to properly introduce myself. I'm almost there, guys. So thanks for being patient. Chantel has got me again. She knows I like to do my work, my good work on the back end. But hey, what are big sisters for, right?
That's right. And
Yes.
anybody
So
anybody who know me know that I am like big sister, big mama. Always want to make sure that you keep it tight so I can keep it right. You know what I mean? It's all out of love. It's all out of love. I promise.
Okay, I'm almost there.
See, y'all, this is why I gotta be a big sister. I have to argue, y'all. So time to cut up. Time to cut up. It's mental health podcast anyway, so why not? Why not show exactly like who I am? So this is why I have to be a big sister because we have me and Sugah B working. We are two business women, and we work hard, y'all. We always working to the point. I fuss at her because she don't take enough time. She don't get to fuss at me because I don't take that well. But she was supposed to have been ready, y'all. She was somewhere. She was somewhere. When I had called her, y'all, she was somewhere. I ain't gonna tell y'all where she was at, but she was somewhere. And little sisters, they just be running late. They think the world don't start until they arrive, but they don't understand that the big sisters be we already be there. Like we be there. We be there on square on time, looking fine, fine in your 40s, like me. All right, sugar be working. Are you almost there?
All right.
All right. Can you hear me? Is the volume okay now?
I can barely hear you, so that's why I don't want to say anything
Mm,
yet. I don't want us to be
okay.
off on conversation, but I'm almost in here.
Okay. Well,
You'll
I
see
can
me
hear.
again on the back end.
No, I actually had. We're live. We're already live. You won't be on the back end. You're definitely in the passenger seat, and live definitely can see you. So you won't be on the back end anymore. Or maybe you would be. What are you doing around here? Ugh, how dare you be smiling like that? Now, how do okay. Why would you do this to me?
Oh, this is what's going on right now. Oh,
Okay, you need to disconnect from the other device because you're gonna have an echo. Okay, are
I
you there?
made it.
All
Yes.
right, you good. You good. We matching? Is we matching or what?
You know, great minds think alike. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. I guess I'll go ahead
Okay.
and introduce myself.
Yeah, why not? So, again, before you introduce yourself, for those that may have just tuned in or will be tuning in, the subject of the hour is mental health awareness and wellness or versus wellness. And so you can take us in. I am your host, Unique Blessings. Well, you Queen Unique, and that is who are you?
Sugah B. Werkin. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. If you guys didn't hear me a while ago, I was having all these technical difficulties, but Chantel has done it again. She's pulled me to the front from way back yonder, as the country folks say it. Um, we got together. She's been wanting me to do this sister code, this mental health thing for a while because we connect so well and realized that I think I heard you saying it before, Chantel. It's more common than we realize, you know. So number one, I'm into health insurance. I put health first. I got into there, and then I'm into fashion and crypto. I got my hands a little bit here, a little bit there. Y'all know how we do it, working women, you know.
Mhm.
But I'll start by saying the reason I got into health insurance, just not being aware of how things work. We put my grandma, well, my mom, I was younger, put my grandmother into hospice. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with hospice. And I was raised by my grandmom, so I'm a grandmom's baby. She got put into hospice, and not knowing that when she was put there, the doctor had to sign off that she had 6 months to live. You
Wow.
know, and so I'm like, when I found this out, I was right. I was probably writing and training somewhere. I was writing. And when I heard that, I looked up and I was like, wow, and I was on the customer service side of health insurance then. And yeah, so not realizing that we had to sign her over, signing her in there, they had to sign it off saying she had 6 months to live. It really messed with me. Grandma, that's all I knew. Really. She played a big part in my life. And so she was really positive about everything, thinking that she was going to get this physical therapy, and she never got it. Long story short, she passed away. But it's things like that that not being aware, not being educated and understanding how things work and going on, or what's going on around us, that plays a big factor in our mental health. Along with when I was younger, I was bullied
Mm.
terribly. Gosh, I was bullied, and I didn't understand why. But come to find out, I was just thick. I was beautiful, and I was dark skinned. But being younger, especially coming from the environment I came from, you don't really understand what's going on and why people are doing what they're doing. And I feel like they don't even understand why they're doing what they're doing. Sometimes you're just falling in line. So I just say that to say, it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be stepping to your purpose, whatever that purpose is, and not falling in line with someone else's purpose. You know, and yeah. So I'll start it off like that.
Well, that was good. I know all too well, and I keep looking over because I have another device that I'm just not even the one for the tech party. But the bullying thing is that's a big one. I was bullied too coming up in school. I fought back. I fought back, but I don't. I was raised that if somebody hit you, you hit them back. Period. So. Um, but when I think about bullies and I think about bullying, I definitely see like where it correlates with mental health and having that support that you need. And what I found out about the bullies is that in most cases, a lot of cases, the bullies were victims of circumstances as well. And
Mhm.
so what they would do is they would come and they would find themselves a target so that they can let out all the pain and hurt because that
Mhm.
was the way that they knew how to operate. I always was the kind of person who always wanted to help the kid that was bullied rather than
Mhm.
be the bully. In our homes and as children, we carry a lot of these things around and we don't know what to do with them. Your grandmother, she raised you, correct?
Yeah, she raised me from 3 years old up until I was 10.
Wow.
And not understanding what was going on, that played a big factor in my mental health. I'll just tell my story. Um, my grandmother took me when I was 3 years old. I always could remember, so I thought it was my grandmother being on the ground, because we don't realize things stick with us. Our minds hold on to things that we're thinking about this right now, but our mind is like a storage. It stores
Mm-hmm.
things. So I would remember, just I have this image in my head of my grandmother being down, and I don't know, was she arguing or fighting with someone, and I picked her up and led her to the neighbor's house for help. Right? So, but you know, just all I think until recently, a year ago, I had in my head, um, mom, why didn't she want me? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? What was it about me? I love my grandmother. Love her to
Mm-hmm.
death. Wouldn't trade her for the world. I appreciate everything she done, but it's nothing like a mother's love, and it just always felt like something was missing, and it was just I couldn't understand it. So she raised me from 3 until 10, and I just recently found out my mom, she never really had a conversation with me. I never really had a conversation with her. She said, I thought she just didn't want me, but she said, Sugar, she said, Sugar, I know you think mommy don't love you. I love you, honey. You need to stop acting like that. Mama from the country. You need to stop acting like that. And I was listening, and she said, I'll never forget. I remember when your dad. I can't believe I'm sharing this. You just always bring something out of me, Chantel. But I remember when your dad used to beat on me and you. And
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I remember that my dad used to like beat me with well, whoop me with this little rod off the curtain, like the curtain rods. I just remember getting a whipping with that thing, but anyway, so she said, I remember, I never forget, baby, when your dad was beating on me and I fell in the street and you walked me over to Eloise's house. I started crying. I just broke down. I started crying because this whole time I was thinking that it was my grandmother I had helped. Because I had to be like two. I don't understand how I even remember this, but it was embedded. It's been embedded in my mind since the beginning. And she said, I said, wow. I said, Mom, I thought that was grandma. She said, yeah. She said, that's why your grandmother took you. She said, that's why your grandmother took you and took you to Charlotte to raise you for a while because
Oh,
she wanted, it just wasn't the right space for me at the time. And my other sister was my dad's favorite, so it's a matter of communication and us not understanding things and trying to fit pieces together that can sometimes
mhm.
throws us off and cause these gaps in our mental health, so to speak.
Yes.
But check this out though, Chantel. Even when she told me that, it was still there. That I appreciated it, but it was still there. It's like years of damage that has been done from me not knowing that little piece right there. I just thought mom, because
Wow.
I just thought mom didn't want sugar. I don't know
Wow.
what happened. I went back years later and she had Tisha, Moesha, Barbara, three more kids that I didn't even know about. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, you got three more kids. What about me?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
And then from that to
Wow,
the
that,
bullying, yeah, it's just one thing led to another.
and like you said, communication is so imperative. I
Mhm.
was surprised guests came, but I'm a bounce off of this. Communication is so imperative because, and speaking of moms and mommy issues, as being a mentor, a stylist, and a daughter, and a sister, me and my mother, we have had an interesting relationship. And I too, like, we hold so much in. And so even like listening to you talk, like about how you thought it was one thing as a child, but then when you grew up, you found out that no, it wasn't that she didn't want you. In fact,
Mhm.
she was strong enough to make this decision and let it happen, that you would go to a safe space while she endured what she had to endure.
Mhm.
And that is tough alone. And so that's a tough place to be, because I know, since I've been grown, I've asked my mother some questions. And my father and my mother, they were married. They conceived two children together, and I was the daughter, and I don't have any sisters with them together. So I always had boys to kind of look at and learn from. And boys, they deal with things different, especially when it comes to the subject of mental health. It's hard for us to really see when what the males are going through,
Mhm.
because is like, as a little bitty thing, as a boy, you can't cry, hold your head up. If you fall, you're a chump, don't be acting like that. Men don't do this. So boys are taught at a very young age, to look like something that they're not. This whole masculine energy
Mhm.
thing that I think is, kind of misunderstood a lot. But as that daughter, I found myself, as growing up, I kind of pulled away from my mother because of things I didn't understand, and because of that lack of communication in the house. But when we're talking about domestic violence,
Mhm.
like, the victim can't communicate. If the
Mhm.
victim cannot even protect herself, we know, or himself, we know that they cannot protect the offsprings. And
Mhm.
so, in a lot of cases, your children endure what you endure. And a lot of those things, we just kind of grow up and, like you said, put them in our mind, make up
Mhm.
whatever stories that we need to get us from one point
Mhm.
to the next. And that's unhealthy. We lose a lot along the way. First
Mhm.
of all and foremost, we lose ourselves. We
Mhm.
we kind of we're getting big. We have all these fabulous things about us, but inside we in turmoil. So we begin to display these actions outside. In my case, I'll share my story. In my case, I as a young girl, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Right.
I was a teenage mom, and even with being a teenage mom, if my mother, some of her things were not there, then I had to learn a lot of this stuff on my own, and I
Mhm.
would make a lot of mistakes. So it wasn't really until my children, well, they're adults now, my offsprings would become bigger, and one came to me one day and she said, I what she said, she said, it's not funny. She said, I was abused. And I said, you was abused. You weren't abused. You got your ass whipped. Excuse my language. You got your
Mhm.
ass whipped, but you wasn't
Mhm.
abused. You deserve every single whipping. And I had to bring it back. I had
Mhm.
to bring it back because what do that do to your mind when you're
Mhm.
telling someone, I have been pretty much brought down to my lowest denominator, and they turn around and say, no, you haven't. You fine because
Mhm.
I get the title mother. You may be a mother, you may be a parent, you may be, a grandmother, a father, but I think in our culture we are horrible at communicating. We are
Mhm.
horrible at listening. And so a lot of times it's way too late and we
Mhm.
scraping our babies up off of the grounds.
Mhm.
And, be it suicide, be it homicide, or illness just took us out of here. At that point
Mhm.
is when we want to say, oh, well, I remember this and I wish I could have did that, but now it's too late. And so I really, really want to go in tonight and talk about, how do we manage these things? How does it affect us? And speaking of how did it affect us, I admire you and this guest that's on here. I have been able to sit back and watch you two as sisters. I have been feeding off of your relationship. I have been seeing you all in me. I've been able to hang out with y'all. Y'all a little bit younger than me. Y'all keep me young. That's how I be looking like this at 41. Um, but I've been blessed to have you two in my life. Different ways, of course. And one thing is strange, and I said this. I said, why sisters don't have a cold? Why we don't have a cold? The bros got a cold. Like bro come home from jail. This one looking out. This one got a house. He got a little piece of butt over there. He
Mhm.
got new tennis shoes over there. The kid, like
Right.
bros have a cold that I'm so jealous of. It doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
And so, like you said, I've been saying, like, please, 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 let's do this sister code. Please, please,
Mhm.
please, let's have these conversations live because us three, we have had some good conversation, joy, tears, made, storming out the room in Atlanta. Somebody, I ain't gonna go into all of that. I'm gonna leave that for y'all, but I am super, super, super excited, and I want to first of all say thank you both for being sisters, for showing up and for doing what you say you're gonna do, and most of all for showing up for each other and teaching me how to get through those rocky situations. How do you go from not speaking to speaking and you ain't on the phone like, cause I can't stand that. Excuse my language, y'all. Bleep, 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 bleep. This gonna be a cussing show. It's Friday night, and we talking about mental health, so I'm a cuss. But and I got some wine, so I'm definitely gonna cuss tonight. Okay, so the Saints, see y'all back on Sunday. This ain't the show for y'all tonight, probably. Or just cover your ears or pray for us, whatever. But it's definitely gonna be raw. It's definitely gonna be real because I don't like doing anything besides that. It's not scripted. We all pretty much work for ourselves and we don't come to be disrespectful, but we do come to bring a point. And so this word I'm about to say, like I've never heard you call and say, that bitch get on my nerves. Can you believe she? It's always been like, I'm going through this. We gonna work it out. We talk. Even you keeping that secret space for you too. You might say we ain't doing good, but I never really knew like what led up to this. You never like shared that. It's always been respect and caring and concern and I admire that about your friendship. So you can do the just and invite our guest. And I don't know if she's gonna show her face. She have an absolutely beautiful
Oh, she
face.
best to
But
show that
I
beautiful
don't know if
face.
she's gonna
I
show
just
her
seen
face
it
or
20 minutes
not.
ago.
But she's a treat, and y'all see she got me showing all my teeth and stuff. But
Mhm.
so you can do our just and invite the sister in and just tell us a little bit about. I'll sit back and just watch the beautiful butterfly.
Well, well, well. Who do we have here? This is
Oh,
marvelous.
y'all gonna camera?
Yeah, she's on. But guys, this is my sister, my best friend, one and only, Shapraise Jackson, Miss Tootie
Hello, guys.
Fruity.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. So, me and Tootie, I'll just give you guys another quick story. I'm a woman of many stories,
We like stories.
me and Tootie, yeah, like I said, guys, I hope I don't start. Tootie, I be crying. Y'all, if y'all don't know, y'all might
Hey,
think I'm
y'all
tough as
can cry
nails.
today. Just make sure your eyelashes. I don't wear
Lord,
lashes. Make sure
I
your
just
lashes
wanted
is nice
Tootie's
and
on.
tight. Make sure them
Yes.
lashes is tight, so when you cry, it won't be like one drop. Cause I'll be like, "Girl, your lash hanging."
They barely look. I threw this on real quick, but me and Tootie, I met Tootie. She's my is how we from the how we got this thing where she's my brother's cousin, but she's not my cousin.
Yeah.
On their dad's side. But she's always I've been seeing her here and there popping out, but we never knew each other. I see her walking outside in the trailer with her ponytail, whatever. I ain't never really said nothing but look at each other and keep going. So, I've been bullied and stuff like that. And I started fighting back in 6th grade, y'all. I was like, nobody taught me how to fight, Chantel. I ain't nobody even say you better hit them back. If somebody hit you, ain't nobody tell me that. It was just an instinct for me. I was like,
I
enough
had classes.
is enough. And
I
I
had
just went,
classes. I didn't want to
yeah.
fight. I had classes. I used to close my eyes and do like this.
Oh, I had to keep my
And
eyes open because I realized one day I realized that when I was, swinging and fighting and doing all that, that
you
my
can't
that my
see.
eyes would go closed. So one day they pulled my ponytail out one too many, and I went home. I still got the bruise on my. I tell the story to everybody. I still got the bruise right here. We had those containers. I went home and I started practicing. I said, "Yeah, but I got some for y'all tomorrow, boy. Come for me if you want to. It's enough. Enough is enough." So I'm practicing at home, but next day, I'm telling you, this girl, if she hit a store, her name Sherelle Aldridge, boy, I whooped that tail, boy. You remember she'll tell you. But Tootie, in 6th grade, I was sitting down, nobody, what I'm saying, I ain't really taught, people, how they did or whatever. Tootie, she come sit down or she had this book. Both of us love to read. We do a lot of the same things. And so I had this book called Fly Girl. And here she go. What's she doing? Reading the same book, Fly Girl. So that's how it all started. And we just been tight ever since. And she just, we always had each other's back. She just did so much for me. And it's things like that and people like Tootie that just it starts to let light sink into our crevices, and be like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with me.
Mhm.
It's something wrong with them. Ain't nothing wrong
Mhm.
with me. My best
Mhm.
friend said my legs look good. My best friend
Mhm.
said I look good. So and then you start to believe it and then you start to see it and then it is what it is.
Mhm.
And I just thank God for putting her in my life and for us meeting. But she really gave me a lot of encouragement. I don't even think she realized what she was doing. She was just being herself, and we just connected and it was just us against the world. And yeah, Tootie, come on in, boo.
Up ever since.
And so, y'all, for those who don't know who Tootie is, this our guest. That's her nickname. And for y'all who don't know who Chantel is me. That's my government name. Sugar is gonna do
I'm
exactly what she want to do. She call us whatever she want to call us. Y'all probably reading the screen and say something else. She say something else. Just keep up with us. So I'm gonna say Tootie as well. So Tootie, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you out of, where you from, and all of that. Where your bees at.
Hello, guys. I'm a little shy right now. I wasn't prepared for this, but my name is Shapraise Jackson. Short, I go by Tootie because I'm a twin sister and they call her Praise. So we go. I'm Tootie. About me, raised in a household, single mom. Um, three siblings. I'm a twin sister, so I'm kind of like the middle child, probably the most outgoing one. I probably was probably the rebellious one as well. They probably would agree. I was the one that kind of like the big sister, if I should say that. Everybody would say I act like I'm older than everybody, so I uh, I lead the pack, I should say. I think
Look at it there.
But anyway, grew up in. I don't know how back you want me to go because okay, I'm gonna skim through that and I'm gonna just jump to the fact me and Sugar met, like she said, in middle school, and people did used to bully her, and I don't know. I've always liked different people. Like I've never been one to follow people. Like a dozen people can like you, and I may, I'm not gonna say I don't like you, but I'm not gonna just go to you because you're the most popular. I look for people that's different, that's really genuine, the outcast, if you will. Like, people, the ones that people consider outcasts but are not outcasts, they're just different in their own way. I'm always drawn to those type of people, the ones that are misunderstood. I can see under it the reason why you are the way that you are. So I saw Sugar for what she was. She was always to herself, always laid back, And one day I just, went over there. I didn't know at the time till Sugar kind of broke it down. In recent years, I'm like, I never thought of it like that. And I decided to speak to her. We started to be friends, develop a friendship. And you could tell she had gone through some stuff, self esteem was probably a little low, whatever. And, as we started hanging out, I'm telling her hair is, your hair is beautiful. Don't let nobody tell your hair's not beautiful. You have beautiful legs. She didn't like to show her legs. I'm like, your legs are gorgeous, honey. They just haters.
Hey,
They just
hey.
hating. Don't listen to those people because growing up myself, like people would, because you were dark skinned, they would automatically assume that you weren't beautiful,
Wow.
growing up. So I dealt with certain stuff myself. I can't say I was bullied, but you might as well say that was kind of bullying when people was calling you
Mhm.
black or the
Different ways of
guys.
bullying.
If,
Mhm.
if you didn't like the guys because I was darker skinned, then they would try to pick on you. You black anyway. But as
Mhm.
time grew on, my mama always
I think Tootie went out. It was
Yeah.
just getting good.
uh-oh.
You back?
Not really.
Oh, am I
Yeah.
back, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Somebody's trying to call. But anyway, but growing up, my mom always instilled, she always made us feel like we were beautiful. She always got us beautiful doll babies, church dresses. I always wanted to wear heels, and so I kind of developed a self esteem. Even though people would say stuff about me, I kind of always, felt like I was, looked good. You
The
as you
shit.
start, right, regardless of what you say, you want,
Mhm.
So, but I seen the beauty in Sugar, and she was always beautiful. It's just once you hear certain, you could tell like when you are young and you hear certain things, that stuff kind of, when
Stick
you
with
get older
you.
in life, it stay with you.
Hmm.
But
Mhm.
I say all this to say, you know, we've been tight for about what 20 years now,
Mhm.
long time, and a lot of ups and downs, challenges, and I'm glad we can get to this point where we can kind of communicate. When
Mhm.
things don't, like when adversity come, we don't understand each other. Not saying we're not human, because we are. We both are human. We both are alpha female, so we kind of can butt heads at certain points, but we got to kind of coming to a median where we can both understand, like we can put our pride aside, take arrogance out of it, attitude.
Mhm.
Our attitudes can get us in a lot of stuff. So I can take the blame for mine, take accountability for my stuff, because I'm not perfect. I'm still have things I'm working through as well. So I feel like when
Mhm.
we develop that sisterhood, nothing should be able to come between it, not even our attitudes.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
I'm I'm appreciative that I can have that conversation with her. I mean, that she's in the
Mhm.
mind space that we can sit down and have a grown folk conversation and not be like F her or bash her to the next girl, or because me and her fell out, I'm going back talking to her to other people. What happens between us stays between us. And that's how we're able to move forward. Because imagine if I go out and say all this type of stuff about her, then people feel that there's a loophole. What I'm saying? That wouldn't be loyal of me. So it'll just lead an open door for other people to come in and tarnish the friendship.
Mhm.
So I'm just glad we kind of, she invited me here today and we're able to shed light on a lot of things that go on in sisterhood and how we're able to overcome it.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. But let me ask you this. So like when me and Sugar was talking and then too, like just to think about the sisterhood and bring it back to like the stability of mental health. Um, I know when I was in a dark place, and I had been diagnosed with some things that it was difficult to maintain any kind of healthy relationship because when I was in my dark space, you're getting all this new information and on things that you really haven't heard, things that you are not familiar with, such as depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and these are just some basic ones in the mental health sector as far as illness goes. You don't even, it's hard to see what's really going on, even if it's like right in your face. It's hard to know what's healthy, what's not healthy, especially when everything that's going on and going wrong around you, you bring it back to self. You say, well, it's my fault, or I didn't do that right, or, maybe those people probably way back when in elementary school has said what they said and it hurt. Maybe they was right. So if I come up and I meet a Sugar or I meet a Tootie and I'm in that dark space, I can't see day from night. So my question is like where, and I see this happen so much in especially my culture. I hang out more with my culture than anybody else. I am not racist, however I am proud to be a melanated woman, and I'm always looking and searching and seeing, why does the melanated woman keep finishing last? Why does the melanated woman supposed to be tougher? Why is the melanated woman have to be strong in spite of every diagnosis that come? Why does the melanated woman don't get a chance to rest and say, you know what, I just got this diagnosis. We don't have time to really digest all of these things that's going on from childhood trauma all the way up into adult accountability and responsibility. It is
Mhm.
really not a lot of spaces and places that we can go to. And most of all, we barely could go to each other. Like if we really, really be real and we say, I mean, because even as us three, like I know if I think about somebody else like kind of coming, I'm like, I hope they don't kill the vibe, So it's all is,
Mm.
and it's just that is that right away, and so I'm guilty too of saying, well, I don't really know about that, and then by me like being a female and I know the things that has happened to me, I don't want to put myself back in that same thing, even if it's somebody that's different. It's hard to kind of, especially when you're in that healing journey, it's hard to kind of go back and say, you know what, I'm gonna take a risk today and see if this person is healthy. When my sisters, my cousins, and just like you all have battles with being on a more darker shade, I had battles on being on the lighter shade. Light skinned girls think they all that. I don't even consider myself
Mhm.
light skin. I consider myself brown skin. So even down to what tonality you are. So it was like, dark skinned girls don't want to hang out with you. White girls don't want to hang out with you because you ain't white. And the light skinned girls, we got light skinned girl syndrome where some of us do think we all at it. Don't talk to me. So it's like, how do we break these curses? I would say they're curses that's against us, and we are hiding and drowning in all of our illness and sickness. And I personally feel like the cure is within each other. But if we don't really have places that's safe and we don't even know who we are, why we are, whose we are, most of the time, a lot of us like to run and hide behind religion. Me and Sugar
Mhm.
talked about that, with all due respect to religion, trauma bonding with religion, saying, I don't have to talk to you because I'll talk to by God. And that's fine talking to your God. However, God made people. And if we are all down here experiencing this thing called life, then why aren't we using each other, and mostly sisters is what I'm talking to tonight. Why aren't we using each other as that resource? And if we are, how? And if we not, how can we? Like, I know I just said a whole bunch, but it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
I want to say this in regards to what you just said, Chantel. You said that we had it tough being on a darker the darker side. You had it tough being on a lighter side. I hear mixed people having it tough being on the mixed side, and then the Afro Latinos having it tough being. Listen, just be
Yes.
your. We
Yes.
don't. It's always going to be something because people have their own perspectives, they have their own reasons, and like you said, you never know what's going on at home,
Right.
how people were raised. It's a lot of different things that plays a factor in while we're on the receiving end of that negativity, whatever's being brought. So what I've done is and then you said well, I'm losing my train of thought. Y'all know how it's going, but yeah, so we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything. We can wake up I can wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, I'm just going to lay in the bed today." That's on you. I can wake up in tomorrow morning and say, "Hey, I'm going to go to work for 5 hours, 10 hours." That's on me. You know what I mean? So it's just it's in being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just taking time to be yourself and just doing what I'll say me and doing what makes me feel good. I found that I get a lot out of what I'm trying to get out of people by instead of saying it. Does that make sense, Chantel? I was trying to tell you this the other day. Like, I'll say for example, these last few years, I've been running like a wet dog behind my family, just trying to show them these all these good things, trying to introduce them to all these good people that I've met, and they have just been shutting me down left and right. I would fill out applications, and all they had to do was show up. And what did that do for me? Lead me down a road to basically depression, just
Hmm.
feeling distraught, sad. Why can't they see it, Lord? I want them to fulfill their purpose before they leave this earth. Oh God, or either this one. You know what I told you, Chantel. I don't want them to pass or get into some trouble, and they're not. They would tell me these stories of what I want to be and what they wanted to do, and they just leave this earth without doing what they told me they wanted to do in life. So that was stuck in my mind. But what I thought about was coming from that stage of being bullied. I developed the mentality of I'm just gonna do me during that period, right? I'm just gonna do
But how
me.
long did it take you to get there? Because my thing is, I now I'm at that point, where it's
Mhm.
like whatever. But to be quite frank and to be quite honest, when for a lot of years, when I was diagnosed with depression and PTSD, and those diagnoses came after I was on the phone talking. I was 19 years old. I was on the phone talking to my children's father, and he was murdered while we talked on the phone. And so at 19 years old, he's murdered. I have two children by then, and I was actually pregnant when he was murdered. So I there was no such thing as doing me, because when he left, so did I. I had left the building too. I had left the building of life. I had left feeling. I was numb. I didn't. When I lived in Baltimore City, I moved to Columbia eventually, but Columbia, Maryland. But when I lived in Baltimore City, I was not afraid of death. I did not care about death. In fact, I was waiting to see, okay, when my number coming, because I was a child at first. I was child survivor of domestic violence. Then by the time I get a teenager, I start dating someone who didn't come from the best circumstances and who was forced to be in the street. And that's who I fell in love with. And I call it love now, but if I had to go back to that 19-year-old mind, and we had someone who was more healthy over the both of us guiding and leading us, then I could see that it was two children that was in trauma that had produced a child while they were in trauma. And speaking of trauma, in my mind, that means the womb that I would have this baby out of would be filled with trauma. So I really think that from the time that conception that you're exposed or possibly exposed to trauma, depending on those environmental factors. So coming from trauma out of my mother belly into trauma into the world, and the only thing that I knew was trauma and unhealthy relationships. Anything healthy, I never seen healthy. My normal in what a relationship was possibly in my mother and father case, daddy beating mommy. I thought everybody household daddies beat mommies. I didn't know that when that daddies are not supposed to be physically hurting mommy. I never talked about it. I never seen it to be a problem, to be quite honest. So
Mhm.
it's easy to say, especially where we're at now, to say, well, just do you. But what about those people that don't even know who you, meaning themselves, are? How do they cope to even get to the level of where we are? Because it's levels, different levels to this shit, as the
Mhm.
kids say. And it's levels in healing and trauma and being able to say, okay, my mind is not right. How do we know when to step off? Like what are some signs? Maybe you can give us some signs of a unhealthy mind, being just, from your personal experience and what you went through from a child to an adult. Like what was some of those things when your mind wasn't healthy that people probably need to be able to look out for?
Well, I've been a writer. I used to write poetry. That was my outlet. I just look for outlets without even realizing it. I want to say that if and that's not something I knew back then. I didn't know. I just thank God that I made it. But it starts in the household. It starts with your parents. Your parents are your first teacher. Your mom, your dad,
My
and
mom and dad could
I
not
know.
teach
I
me.
know, but
And
that's
then
where.
in your case,
Mhm. Right.
so if we go off of
Mhm.
that, and even if we're talking to someone right now that may be watching us that don't
Mhm.
have that option, like what would you tell the young girl? What would this healthy mind tell the unhealthy mind to do until you can get or seek refuge to be able to sustain that mind and all of that stuff that's happening in the mind?
Do what makes you feel good. If it doesn't make you
Ooh,
feel good, don't do it. And it's simple as that. If you
I'm gonna
don't
test that.
feel
I'm gonna test
aligned,
that. Do
that
you know what made me feel good when I was going through sex?
oh gosh, not sex, not on a not on that
That's
type
what
of
made
level.
me
Don't go
feel good.
out
No,
and have
I
sex
mean, I
with
want to have
Tom,
like
Dick,
a
and Harry.
real, but I want to have a real conversation. Like,
Mhm.
I know that's probably people probably don't want to hear that.
Mhm.
It's probably uncomfortable to hear and a bit hard for a pill to swallow. But when I was in trauma and I wanted to do anything to take me out of reality. So
Mhm.
anything that released those dopamines in my brain to have me, that high, whether it was for a
Mhm.
second, and if it was only for a second, guess what? I'm going to go and do it again because it gives me that high and it gives me that escape. And nowadays, I would not, recommend, or even then, I wouldn't recommend someone going out and having sex, whether it's with one person or whether it's with 10 people, because it can be risky. And most of all, even if it's not risky in its love, an unhealthy mind do not understand that this person is loving you. When on my end, if I'm the receiver, you might be loving me, but I'm not loving you. So now we got a victim that's about to start victimizing because
Mhm.
I'm only here for a feeling to take me from my reality. I can't even
Mhm.
feel what real is because fantasy feels better. Being high and not aligned feels way better
Mhm.
than these lows. So what do we tell our sister girls? How do they manage these things, you know. And especially with our organization standing, you know, against sexual assaults and standing against human trafficking and domestic violence. But when you going through all of this trauma, and even to some of our adults, once you have someone who beat you, well, guess what? When you find someone who's loving up on you and now they massaging you and doing all these things that feel good to them and it feel good to you, but your mind is not healthy to see, you might be with a
Mhm.
narcissistic, you might be, so now you are back in these risky behaviors because you couldn't go to mom or dad.
Mhm.
And it does start at home. And if I couldn't go to mom or dad, again, my case, now I'm angry at the world.
Mhm.
So now I got a whole nother issue because now I realize Sugar told me it started at home. I should have been able to go to mom or dad. Well, now I'm mad with mom or dad. And if you cannot trust your first true love, which is your mom or dad, and not because of any fault of their own, but because of circumstances, then how do we trust anything else and even know that I can become you? I can become me. I could become Tootie. How? And Tootie, you can jump in and I'm gonna just shut up and I just want to put that out there. And we probably gonna go over a little bit. It's 7:57,
It's
but
okay. We going
but
over.
how?
We in knee deep now. We in knee deep.
Hey, figuring
but
um
how do we? Because I mean, I for me, mine's is fresh. Like my I have just let go of being bitter and traded it in to become better. And that's not easy at all. I can say my journey was not easy, and it is not easy at all.
I'll say one of the ways to kind of get through like mental a bad mental space is basically figure out a healthy outlet, whether that be writing, singing, rapping, going to a counselor. In the Black community, we don't believe in counseling, but having
Mhm.
that healthy outlet. Even a pastor, if you're a religious person, go to a pastor, someone that you feel can fill you up when you don't have anything left to give.
Mhm.
Figuring out what makes you happy. What is your happy? What
Hmm.
fulfills you as a person? Whether that
Mhm.
be you talking to a friend, if you can't confide in that friend, definitely look into seeking a therapist. They have stuff sources online now. They have lines you can call, chat lines you can call. There's a lot of outlets out there. There's a lot of Facebook groups you can look at. There's one in particular. This is a platform they can utilize when they're wanting to get through that dark moment. We're not here
Mhm.
to judge you or, place the blame on anything. We're all just here taking accountability of what we follow or lack it. So I'd
Mhm.
say, some people have someone, they may have someone they look up to. Who is that person that you feel can help you get through that situation?
This
So let
may
me play
sound.
let me play devil's advocate with you, Tootie. So let's say that you just told me that as being the person that's in crisis. What if my response to you is Facebook? I don't really have the energy, or my internet keep going in and out. And then as far as you telling me to go to the pastor, I already tried that, and that pastor be busy, or church be saying the same thing. They just say pray. So what do we do? And you're absolutely right. Like these times now, we have so much more now than we ever had before. But where do I get that strength from? Like, where do I get it from? The songs might not work. I wrote. I'm a writer anyway. But if I wrote, like, where, how would you convince me that, just give it another try, especially if I'm at the point of no return?
I'd say first exhaust all options. Like if you don't have any other option to go to, like maybe look at an animal. Some people see when they get animals, they're like a companion.
Hmm.
They're like a companion for some people. Whether you want to go for a walk.
I'm gonna say this right here.
Hey, also
Go ahead.
meditating. Try
Yes.
Mhm.
meditating. Try
Yes.
therapy. If that could be a hookah, you don't have to smoke weed. Maybe weed can be your therapy. I kind of use it as a recreational use, but don't Don't,
Mhm.
you ain't hear from me. But
All right. I mean, but even speaking in that, and I am pro cannabis. I am pro cannabis. It's not legal in North Carolina, but it is legal in some other states, and they are using this for depression and all them other things, some cancers and all of that stuff. And studies, yeah, studies have come back and still coming back saying that. And recently, I think recent as a couple of days ago, I read something where they, meaning scientists and who's ever releasing these studies is saying no, that the marijuana, is the chemical in it, it does treat depression, it does help. And so,
Mm-mm.
no, we are not on here selling cannabis by any means necessary. But again, in certain states, you have the cannabis medical cards that you can go and you can utilize it. I love that you said get outside and walk, get an animal. Me and Sugar, supposed to went back to the mountains, again, but not gonna put that out there. But yes, like walking and different things like that. So thank you so much for that. Because I feel like the more the merrier. Not saying that clinical treatment does not work. I would not tell anyone if clinical treatment works for you,
mhm,
definitely do what works for you. Do
right.
whatever you need to do to save your life, and to at least get started until you can get to that next level. I know that all three of us will attest that it does not happen overnight.
It is.
It
Mhm.
does not happen with, one thing or another. It's consistency, it's trying things, it's loving yourself enough to know that you are worth it, that
Mhm.
you do matter.
Mhm.
I did not trust people. And mindset got so bad, I started to tell myself, well, trust the process. So for me, understanding that it was a process
Mhm.
that we were going to go through, and I'm stubborn, so I was like, okay, I went through a lot of processes. This is bull crap. And I had to tell in my mind and think about it as a piece of roast that you needed to cook in the oven. Um and we all know you can have some chewy roast, because I wasn't a great roast maker at first, but we can have some chewy roast so we can have that tender meal. But it takes time, it takes preparation, it takes picking out, going to the grocery store to even get the meal to cook, and then waiting for the meal to cook. And that's how I look at healing. And I remind myself, especially when you have those times when you're still not sure, because as much as we talk tonight and we sound good tonight, life is still going to happen.
Mhm.
Life is going to happen. And there's
Yeah.
nothing that we can do about it at all. We
Mhm.
can learn to work with it. We can look at it, support. I am so grateful for my clients. My clients, they come to me, they share stories with me, and hearing their stories lets me know that, guess what? For one, you're not alone. And for two, somebody else is going through something that's way deeper than you ever could swim. So if they can do it, know that you can do it too. That's what I would do. And I'm probably about to get emotional here, so I'll cut it off and you can go, Sugar.
I'll just say I was listening to you and Tootie, and I just remember what I've always done in the beginning. And like you said, you might not have mom, you might not have dad, you might not have preacher, you might not have a dog, you might not know to go take a walk, and that walk would lead, would relieve the stress or whatever you're feeling. What if you're watching this right now? What I want to say to you is just, it's going to be okay. It's gonna be okay. It is. It's a process. Like Chantel said, you whatever the steak you just used is gonna be okay. Life is a process. And you might not feel good right now. We're happy today, but who knows? I might go outside and stump my toe, or my sister might call and piss me off tonight, and and I don't know if it's gonna be okay. But if it's okay right now, but it will be okay. I've always told myself it's going to be okay, and by reminding myself that I'll write I would write poetry, I would dance, and when I get to that point of, oh, I said it was gonna be okay, I'm starting to feel okay now. Then I go over to Tootie's house, and then we start laughing together and sharing positive energies, and it got better. And then if something happened and I get back to that realm of depression again, then I just restart it all over again. I go write,
Mhm.
I go read, I would watch movies, love movies, and I'd be like, oh, okay, like, oh, that gave me something to look forward to, and a different outlook on life from things that was around me, So, like I tell a lot of my friends, just if you're watching a movie and it's making you sad and you're already feeling depressed, change that movie. Put on some comedy. So if you're not feeling good in that space you're in, remove yourself out of that space. Try something different. you know if you're sad, smile even when you don't feel like it. you know so that's what I've always done. Just
And
I
I'll
remove.
love it.
also say, speaking power into yourself. Sometimes
Mhm.
we get so stuck in being in that mode. Sometimes when
Mhm.
depression hits you, it comes out of the blue. You don't even know
Mhm.
that it's depression at the time, but start speaking life into you, saying, I am beautiful. I am happy. You can write down stuff on little post-its and put it over the mirror.
Mhm.
You can read that every day. You can set up, I have alarms set up on my phone where I am just speaking affirmations over me. I
Wow.
have affirmation
Mhm.
app called I Am coming off every hour on the hour, just speaking power into me, just making
Mhm.
sure and affirming that I am worthy of great things and I
Mhm.
deserve great things. We have to get in a mind state of where we feel that we deserve great things because we're so used to putting ourselves down at times and accepting negative energy. We should also fill ourselves up with positive energy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow. See, y'all see why these girls is like in my pocket? I love it. I love the speaking part too. I have Words are so powerful.
Mhm.
Words are so powerful. And women are powerful, very powerful. Our words that we speak, women birth things. We birth
Yeah.
and manifest. That's what we came to earth to do: birth, manifest. So when you speak in those words, we have to be very careful and be intentional. Be
Hmm.
intentional. And I'm going to read this real quick. Watiana, that's our baby. Watiana says, um, the unique blessings came out of her. I think she was talking about something we done did. But she says, I think y'all could y'all see this comment? I'm not sure if you can.
I didn't see it.
I can't listen. Y'all give me a second because I was
Oh,
trying to squint. Did y'all see me squinting? I
oh, I
need my
see it
glasses.
now, y'all.
Okay, I'll read a little bit. I thank y'all for what y'all said tonight because last night wasn't good for me. I walked away from a woman I thought I would never leave, but I got my message. I have to put my own work, and I have to put my own work, and it's not with someone else. It's with myself. So today I felt more of myself today than I ever had before because I made a big accomplishment I never thought I could accomplish. But I did it because I had to. I love her to death. She birthed me, but I see you never could prove your protection, so I'm leaving.
Oh man.
Whew, that was deep.
Yeah.
Y'all, do y'all got some more time to stay on here real quick? Because if y'all do, it ain't never quick. If y'all do, we're gonna break for a commercial and then I'm gonna come back and we can kind of build on this together, I think, for three different perspectives rather than just one. Because like Tootie said and you said, we said different things. People use different things to cope and to get through. So the Wati may not use what I say, she may use what you say, or she may not use what you say, she may use what you say. So if you all don't mind, are y'all willing to take a break and then come back?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
All right, so let's take a break and we'll be right back.
How long is the
All right.
break?
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to my Journey podcast. We are here tonight again. If you're just coming in, we are talking about mental health awareness. It's May, and we're talking about sister codes and just different things, how what we can do to find healthier spots and be more healthy in our mind. That often lead to our body. So we're back, and when we went on break, it was a message. Sugar, you there? Tootie, you there?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
here.
here.
All right. Why I'm the only one on camera? Y'all don't want to. Oh, okay, there you go. I was just say y'all don't want to be on camera no more.
See,
I was
Um,
ready to come on here.
I'm not really dressed, but I'll come on.
we don't mind if you come on and we just see your face and we, as long as we don't see your
She's so
boobs.
humble, honey. Cause I just seen her, honey. She was out here looking like she about to go
Look
to
at
the
this beautiful
concert.
face.
Well,
Look
you
at
know,
her
I
beautiful
came
face.
home. I had to rush home because of this podcast. I had to go pick up. I had to be a. I'm a auntie. I have to be a mom and an auntie at the same time. So
Oh,
I have to
mom,
pick up
too.
my
I like that.
nephews and stuff from school, and you know,
I love it.
be with
Do
them
that
at the
that whole that whole sister support thing, Monty. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. See,
All right.
supporting each other. One hand washes the
Ah,
other. We need more of that.
child. Y'all, I think this podcast can go to 11 o'clock at night because every time one thing come up, I'm like, oh, that's a mental health moment too. Because how
Right.
many times we didn't have help for like our children? I'm a single mom. And sometimes in my family, the only thing that, well, my mother, she's been great with helping me with my children, but a lot of times in my family, money is the movement. So
It's been a movement for me too.
yeah. So with that being said, let's minus us back to YT. This message kind of it hit. Did it hit y'all when I was reading? Because it definitely hit me. Um, it hit deep because we talk about these mommy issues. And at the end she says how I know it's mom because she says she gave birth to me, but I see you never could prove your protection, so I'm leaving. Whew. Mm, 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 mm. Um, y'all can start. Somebody else can start. I'll just chime in. I need to let this marinate for a bit. Okay.
Uh, that just goes back, YT, from to what I was saying in the beginning. Just of course, sex, it makes us feel good sometimes, but having sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry, of course not. It's just like, that's not what it is. That's not right. It's just like when you come out of your mom's womb and you're infant, it's instinct, to go for the titty milk, right? It's instinct. It's just like right from right, wrong is wrong, right? So outside of that, putting myself first has brought what I was saying here. Putting yourself first, everything else falls in line. It's not selfish. I'm a genuine hearted person, and when you don't put yourself first, it's just nothing else. I feel like nothing else works out right. Like I said, I was running around after my brother and them for 2 years, and where did that leave me? Sad, depressed. If it's not working out with that person, honey, it's not you. Maybe you need to step back. Maybe that's a sign from the higher. I feel like that's a sign, has always been a sign from me from the higher power. I need to move out of the way. I'm not God. If you believe in God, I'm not God. Maybe that's God telling me, because everybody has their own story to tell. Everybody has their own path to take and their own purposes that they have to walk into. So I've always taken, if say for instance, if I see something more in Chantel, or if I see, because I'm looking at Chantel, I'm like, oh my gosh, she can be absolutely an amazing talk host or something outside of nails. And I'm encouraging Chantel, oh man, I just see it. You need to go do this talk show host. Or I tell Tootie, oh man, you need to go be a model, but they're just not seeing that. But I do. That's okay. Just fall back. Let it go. That's what we tend. We don't let that weight be on your shoulders, because sometimes you see something in people and they just don't see it, or you want something out of somebody that they're not giving you. That's all right. Sometimes, like you said, you have to walk away. And then if it's whatever, if you guys will circle back to each other. If it's meant to be, I feel like you'll circle back, or not. If not, that's okay too. So just know that it's okay. It's all right. You like you said, you love her to death. I'm pretty sure she knows you love her to death. If you showing her all that love, it's impossible, honey. I know love when I feel it and when I see it. So I'm pretty sure she knows that love that you've been giving her and filling her with. It's not you, it's her. Whatever she has going on is it's just, it's there. And I'm pretty sure give it some time. She'll come back. She's gonna say, YT, I just thank you. I'm so thank you, YT, because I remember when you was doing this and you was doing that. And because of you doing that, it made me do this. You may not see it. See, it's the things that we don't see, you know what I mean? That's why we tend to fill in the gaps. Oh, well, why is she not doing this or why is she acting like that? It's because of the things that we don't see.
Mm,
So just know that it's not you, sweetheart.
mm.
Let's see. Yeah, we can't
And
circle back
Tootie,
this
did you
time if
want
you
to
try to kill the
chime
same
in?
time.
Did you want to chime in?
I will chime in. I guess because it's when it comes to family, I'm such a strong advocate for family, and I try to tell people to, try to stick it out with their family. And I know sometimes, when we're dealing with family, it's so like a sensitive subject. So I'm like, forgive her, not for her, but
Mhm.
for you.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes.
that just answered her question. Y'all didn't see what YT just said? I was almost like, Chantel, we might need to bring her up. But she just said we can't circle back this time if you try to kill the same child that died with you in a coma. Now, I don't know where that's coming from or what happened, but I feel like Tootie just answered that question. Forgive that person. It's hard. Like, you were like, what in the.
Oh gosh.
Forgive that person for
Whew.
you, YT, not for
And
them.
not for them. That is
Mm
that is so strong,
hmm. Mm hmm.
and I think so hard to do.
Mm hmm.
Especially when we talking about mother.
Mm
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
Um, and my again, I like to use my own self, so I can just be guilty of my own crimes. But um, I had a lot of questions for my mother that just won't get answered. I seen something on Facebook and from a family member the other day, and she said the hardest thing I ever had to do is wait for an answer to a question that never will be answered
Mm
and still have to forgive you without you even knowing. Whew,
hmm.
that is tough. And that take courage. And I'm going to tell you, just to bounce off of what Tootie said, for a while I was going around because niceness get us in a lot of trouble. And we all nice
Mm.
here. So, and we always seeing something in people that they just don't see in their self.
Whoa,
Lord.
child, praises.
Ah, and I told my clients some of them, and I probably told you, Sugar, stop falling in love with possibilities, honey. Stop falling in
Mm-hmm.
love with the possibility of what you see, because your
Mm-hmm.
sight is not the same as someone else's sight. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
thing. Your fingerprints make you different. You won't even with Tootie having a twin, those fingerprints made them individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nothing is the same. We don't see things the same. But at the moment that you can forgive someone else for yourself, whoo, I think that's where healing starts. I
There you
think
go.
Mm-hmm.
that's where healing
That's where it's
begins. And not
Mm-hmm.
just saying it, but actually doing it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just regurgitating all of that stuff
Mm-hmm.
up
yeah.
out of you so that you can be free of the toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we talk about mental health, this thing, mental illness, this thing is embedded in
Mm-hmm.
our DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is our mothers'
Mm-hmm.
unresolved trauma that
Mm-hmm.
some of us get to come back in this reincarnation phase and we get to do it without being affected by what is. Um, I had to learn to forgive my mother for the things that she did not know. I had to understand that her best and my best, it was just different.
Right.
She did not have the same tools, for one, that I even have and we even have today. Not making
Mhm.
any excuses, not saying that she couldn't be accountable, but the more time I spent on my mother was the less time that I got to spend on my own mental illness and
Mhm.
versus wellness. It was breaking me down as a person, and I started to see I had become a part of this generational curse. And I was like, oh gosh, like I said, the anxiety getting in, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you up thinking. And to be honest, most of the time while you going through this, these folks are sleeping just fine. They're
Right.
sleeping just fine. In fact,
Peacefully.
Yes, indeed.
yeah, in
So
fact,
they hadn't did a
you at this point
and they're used to
become,
did something to you. They're not gonna take accountability.
I
Yes.
mean, the thing
Sometimes they
is,
don't know.
and sometimes they don't even know. They
Mhm.
don't even, they genuinely don't
Don't
know and
know.
Don't have a
they
clue.
don't, because when
Boy.
for instance, if our mother haven't took the road to healing, how can she relate and understand that that's what we trying to do?
Mhm.
She never did it, and it may not been because of her own will or want. It could have just
Mhm.
been that she, one, don't know how to do this, she don't have the resources, she don't recognize that there is a problem.
Mhm.
So when you don't recognize this, and we become immune to
Mhm.
diseases after a while, it's like kind of take, like if you take forgiveness as an antibiotic, that antibiotic of forgiveness is going to become immune to certain things. If you say, well, yeah, I forgive you today, and then tomorrow we are both doing the same thing that we said we wouldn't do because for a moment we felt good, or we didn't want
Mhm.
confrontation, or we didn't want conflict, and we wanted to, just kind of come down so that we can be loved. I
Mhm.
had to tell myself with my mother, and I love her down, but I had to tell myself her love is pretty expensive and I wasn't rich enough. So she loved me, but the way that we see life is through two different lenses. And
Mhm.
now I understand that she gave me her absolute best. My best is not going to be her best.
Mhm.
And because she did that, I was able to forgive her, even if she never forgives herself. And at that moment, you can begin to do the work on yourself. But if we stay caught in our mama and daddy and grandmama
Mhm.
trauma, we ain't going to do anything but keep this generational curse going. And one day our children
Right.
will be saying the same thing to us that we said to our parents.
Yeah.
And so forgiveness feels good. It's lighter. I can carry it. I'm not strong enough to carry other people's burden. Some people are gifted with that level of strength. I'm not.
Mhm.
And why, Tiana, to be quite honest, you don't have to be. Sometimes leaving, let's talk about leaving. Leaving, y'all know I'm not from Charlotte, North Carolina, right? So I had left. I left and I thought I had left everything behind. Let me tell you what happened to me. I packed my trauma. I packed my trauma inside of me. I carried my bags and I carried my trauma to my new location. Just because nobody wasn't there to see it doesn't mean it wasn't seeing me. So when I got down here, I figured ain't nobody know me, but inside I'm quiet, I'm crying, I'm suffering in silence. I'm still not able to get up and be that higher person that I know I was born to be. So
Mhm.
leaving, you got to ask yourself, when I'm leaving, what am I leaving with? Did I pack my trauma with me, or did I totally forgive it all? And leaving does not remove the weight of that trauma. It just
Mm.
don't. It does not remove the inability to forgive. Like leaving just puts you at a new location with your problems to unpack them in a new location. And that's so be very careful on the leaving part, because that can be detrimental to your health as well. Like is fixing it is not always being in confrontation, but sometimes we have to confront what it is
And
that we are faced with. At the moment,
Mhm.
you can look it in the eyes and say, look, this is what's going on, this is how I feel. um It's going to take some practice and me getting better with this, but I am deciding to move past this. Not because I don't love you, not because I don't care, but because if nobody ever choose me, I choose me today. And when you pack, just know you're gonna pack your trauma with you. It takes time
Mm-hmm.
to get that stuff out. It takes support. It takes sisters. It takes saying, even when your sisters tell you something that you don't like, oh gosh, Sugar done told me a lot of stuff I ain't like. Girl, who you talking to? You know, like, but guess what? When you get by yourself, you replay that because that's what trauma does. It just have you keep going back and forth in the same mind, the same thing, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma is like a relationship that just won't let go,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And once we understand, okay, like Sugar said, you gotta put that cake, that little thing up there. You gotta start boxing that thing out. You gotta start like fighting with it and be like, look, you're not gonna bully me no more,
Face your
right?
fears. Yeah.
Right. But don't hurt yourself
Right.
trying to prove yourself. It is okay to
Mm-mm.
say, I am not okay. I do not want to talk. This
Mm-hmm.
hurts so
Mhm.
bad. It may take me forever, but right now, I'm not okay. And this is not
Mm-hmm.
okay. And to me, that's addressing it. That's being accountable. They can say, well,
Mm-hmm.
then at that moment, you can turn your back, you can walk away because you already said, I'm not okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not okay. You don't have to stand there, but that's your mother. Know that our parents is like a marriage. It is truly until death do us apart. And even there, we still gonna be with our parents.
Mm-hmm.
We can't pick them. Ain't nothing we can do about it. They make mistakes. We make mistakes. Sometimes the children, and I think a lot of times the children have to lead the way. So unpack that with your mother and just say, you know what, I'm going to try to do the things that wasn't done for me through my children, and that'll be your reward.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Great to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some people progress faster than
Hey,
others.
Shelly. Yes, they do. They
Yeah, you
do.
could be progressing faster than your parents. I know I felt
Oh,
that way several times. What I was telling you the other day, Chantel, which is what expedited this right here that we're having, is I look at life like a book, or like
oh, you
chapters in
gotta
life.
share that. You gotta share that one. That did me
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, I look at life like there's chapters in life, like levels to this shit, like
Mhm.
Chantel said, right? So your mom might be in, let's say it's 30 chapters in a book. She might be in chapter 5, but you're in chapter 10.
Mhm.
You may have progressed faster than her for whatever reason. So we all progress at different levels, especially nowadays. You got to think we're progressing way faster. The children are coming out holding their heads up by themselves. I remember back in the day, we used to hold the heads. So
Yes.
times have changed, so it's just understanding people, dealing with people for who they are, really.
Mhm.
Accepting them for who they are, which may not be in alignment with you, which is why you felt that, and now you packed up your bags. You know, you're not okay, but you will be okay. You know,
Mhm.
and like I said, maybe when your mom catches up to your chapter, or you may always be a chapter ahead of you, because we have better tools nowadays. We have more
Yes.
access nowadays. She back in the day, they couldn't get online and reach out to Chantel and Tootie down there where she's at, and Chantel over there where she's at, and say, "Hey, girl." They didn't even have cell phones. They just knew what they knew, and you never know, her what she's giving could be her best, or she might not realize certain things, but you could be in a farther along chapter than she is, progressed more than she has. And it's unfortunate, and it may not make you feel so good, but just deal with them for who they are, and yeah, just move forward. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
And
May
some.
sound selfish, but I'm telling y'all, it's the easiest thing when I tell the people, or when you say it, and you be like, well, it got to be something more, man. What else? No, it's just that simple to me. That's how I look at it. It's as
Mhm.
easy
And
as
what
that.
did I tell you? And what did I tell you, Sugar? I said when people start calling you and unpacking, what I told you, tell them.
Oh, I'm gonna pray for you. I pray for, yeah, that's what I've been using that, Chantel. See, people always call me. I'm always the one that call.
Because your ears
They
are
get
always
called.
open. You receive
Right.
it, right?
Or either they can, let me tell you. So I'll get a call and they'll be like, well, Lord, I ain't got my car note due, or my rent due, or my
That's
phone
stressing you
bill
out.
due, and here go my feelings. I'm listening. And then they'll almost get paused, like they know what's coming. Well, I get you this time, boo.
Uh-huh.
Uh, what the old people you say? I pray for you. I done started using that, honey.
Yes.
I pray for you. Yeah, I
Yes.
got you one or two times, but you keep doing it over and over again. I ain't about to keep sticking my hand in that fire, boo. I pray
Right.
for you.
And that brings me to knowing how to set those healthy boundaries, which is
Right,
very,
boundaries.
very important when we come into sustaining our mental health and wellness. Um, Setting those boundaries, we have to set them for ourselves and we also have to set them for others. It is power in no.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
And let me tell you a secret. No stand all by itself. It don't need nothing to follow it.
Period.
It don't have to be no but cause I no, I'm not gonna be able to. No, thank you. You can even say thank you after no. No, thank you.
Mhm.
But it's power in no. And it's not so much as the other person, it's about giving yourself that power back and reclaiming your
Mhm.
space and reclaiming your life and knowing that you are worthy. And we can't empty out just to fill someone else up because if we do, we're going to definitely be in the hospital or on our bed. I have stroked out trying to help people out, and since that was a scary moment, and since then I said that it has to be boundaries. I knew what brought me to that point. It was the yes. The yes in me put me right
Mhm.
on my back. Not knowing that it's a limit, not knowing respecting my temple to say, hey, your body is giving you a warning. You're getting a headache. You can't see, you can't focus, you can't concentrate. They're all warning signs to say, hey, you're about to crash. You can't
Mhm.
take no more. You reach your limit. And sometimes, how about this? Let's start normalizing being healthy.
Mhm.
Like the black girl should not keep on having to be strong. I don't want to be
Right.
strong. I want to be able to use the energy and the strength that I needed to, and I don't want to do anything extra. It
Right.
is okay. Mondays is my day. I take a self care day. Every single solitary Monday, I am extremely excited on Sundays because I know the next day is for me. I don't care if it's I'm laying in that bed. I don't care if I want to walk around in my pajamas all day.
Mhm.
That's my day. I don't answer the call. I don't hang out with nobody. That is my day to really, really give myself a self evaluation and to observe where am I at? What can I do? Even if that means you need to go to sleep. You've been working all week, you ain't been no sleep, or I take myself out. Being comfortable with your own company, I think, and these are little things that you can see where you're making progress. Somebody might say, well, how do I know I'm making progress? Well, first of all, being comfortable with you.
Mhm.
Getting up for no reason at all. If we can get up and we can get ready for the club on Friday nights or whatever, whatever, as you see, none of us probably are going out because it's 8:36 and we here. But if we can do that on a Friday night, how about and Tootie, I know you do it because I followed you on social media, honey. I follows you. Honey, she gonna tell y'all where y'all can follow and find her at. But this woman right here, let me give her some light right now. I see this woman get up. I see her take vacations by herself. I see her
Mhm.
dress up, and you be like, she looks so good. You be like, girl, where you going? Oh no way. And it's like, dang, you felt
Oh
that
yeah.
good about yourself? So it's like being around women who is going to show you how to do this thing, like you said, sugar, without even talking. I'm gonna get up
Mhm.
and show you how to do it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you went and did yourself up today, got your hair done. It wasn't because you was going on no date at 8,
Mhm.
right? It's because
Mhm.
you've seen enough inside yourself. And at the moment that we begin to love ourselves, I truly believe and trust that that's when we begin to attract that same thing to
Mhm.
ourselves. We
Yeah.
begin to pour love in, and people come to you and they come correct. And
Yeah.
they think about it
Mhm.
before they get to you. They be like, hold on, I ain't gonna approach her like I did that one because
Right.
Right.
ain't even going. And guess what? Probably could, because I mean, sometimes we be on our. I'm gonna say it real quick, y'all. We be on our bald head whole shit. I got hair though, so that don't be me. But anyway,
Mm.
so like you have to set standards. My queens, my melanated queens, like please set standards. It is okay. Like single is not a disease.
It's not.
Sometimes, like I told somebody right now, I'm so in love with me and going out with me. I'm scared to break up with me because I'm ahead to get with somebody else, and I'm right now I'm digging me.
Mm.
Like, and what if we always got that space feel and we always got that noise in our ear and people telling us who we are, what we are, how we should look, when we should go, an edge here, an eyelash there. We can't see past nothing. And guess what? The people outside of you, they can see that. They can see that you are unsure of yourself, which gives them the green light to go and bring more trauma and drama in your life. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my piece.
True.
And I'm feeling good, but that's my piece.
Well, mine it.
Mhm.
Yes. I love it, but I appreciate you, Chantel. You've been a rainbow in my cloud plenty of days,
Yeah.
So and you definitely push me to greater heights all the time. I feel like we don't just deplete each other, we feel each other. So that's what you want to
I'm
revolve
trying to
yourself
end this
around.
show, but you keep saying
Oh
stuff.
Lord.
That is important. That is
Mhm.
important.
Yeah.
I will empty out my whole cup for you two queens. You know why?
Mm,
Because I know that when I came, it was already a cup filled on the table for me.
There you
mhm.
go.
Mhm.
So I could walk away with an empty cup, especially when I
Mhm.
could pick up one that was already full. So be careful where we filling up at. If
That's
you filling up in cups,
Right.
and they got a hole in that thing, and it's just
Mhm.
going on the floor and ain't nothing else there, baby, dehydration will kill you. That's
it
all I'm
will.
gonna say. It
Mhm.
will kill you
Mhm.
Dead.
on arrival.
Oh gosh,
So
yes.
y'all, we can get ready to close this thing out. I truly appreciate and enjoyed y'all. We're gonna be coming back with Sister Code again, y'all. I'm just claiming that.
Mhm.
Tonight it was my journey podcast. But if y'all want to see more of us, y'all will be seeing more of us. We are going to be doing a lot of these conversations. Hopefully not just on the podcast, but also in person as well.
Mhm.
We are working up to some stuff. So again, for me, I'm your host, Queen Unique, the founder and the president of Unique Blessings nonprofit organization. If you need to find me, you can hashtag Unique Blessings, you can hashtag Let's Heal Together, or you can simply visit our website at www.uniqueblessings.org. You can find out more about our mission there. You can also support and donate there. And then, can you two ladies tell us where we can find you at? And then take us out because we're going to be calling it a night so I can drink the rest of my wine.
All right. Well, you guys can find me at Sugar Be Working, exactly as you see it there on your screen. Sugar Be Working. I'm always working. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, all that good stuff. I also do health insurance. You can find my health insurance company at puthealthfirst.com. That's puthealth1st.com. And we didn't get into that. I meant to bring that up about how health plays a factor in mental health as well, but we can save that topic for another time.
How about if we
Okay.
come back and we do a part two? I'm definitely open to
Yeah.
doing a part two. So, all right, y'all, we here. We said it. It's gonna be a part two.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
Part
down.
two, all in agreement. All right, y'all. So part two is gonna be coming up, and there we will learn more about connecting that health to the mental health, and
Mhm.
you can take us in with that. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. So that's it. Puthealthfirst.com, sugarbeworking.com. I do check me out. I'm all over. Y'all gonna be seeing more of me, honey. Y'all finna get sick of me.
Hey, prepare to get
Y'all gonna be
sick
sick
of
of
it.
me.
Exactly.
And I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and introduce myself. I am Shapraise Jackson. You will see me listed as Shapraise Jackson in parentheses, Miss Tootie on Facebook. If you ever need some sleepwear care, you want to look sexy on Netflix and chill night, holla at me. I'm at Royally Melanated Collection. I sell lashes, sleepwear, and accessories. And you guys will see me soon, not only in retail, but also in real estate. So see me soon.
Ooh.
All right, guys. I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I look forward to speaking with you guys next time.
Likewise. Good night, ladies, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, audience. We love you. We love you. And we'll see you on part two for this podcast. Have a good night and be safe. And know you matter. Keep that mind good. If you need to get to any of us, feel free to hit us up. We here. And we love you. And we're going to make sure that you love yourself too. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.